What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Week 5 Swolecast here on rotogrinders.com. I'm David Kitchen, joined by former, I don't want to say like expert player, but I think of this show, he is the former expert player. That's Mr. Tuttle 05. And then we have Peter Overzet, and then Davis Maddock. Davis, Tuttle, you are going to be playing the role of analyst, and Davis, you're going to be playing the role of just shipping it every week, sharp takes, because you did it again last week, fella.
So I think what I got to do is Tuttle and I have to switch roles. So Tuttle's got to interrupt everyone.
You know what I like today is...
and I have to sit here and work on my busy work for rotogrinders.com during the show. Yeah. And then I think that it'll just be, a perfect little swap there.
What role do I get to play, Kitchen?
Let's see. This is... Peter, you'll be playing the role of a... energetic entertainer.
This is not a
Charlie
well thought out bit.
Over here.
I got my jazz hands ready.
All right. So I do want to start out with the listener league last week. It felt quick. It felt like quick. Like I left it at 200 this week. This is exclusive. So you got to get in there right away. It filled Saturday. It filled a day earlier than it did last week. You got to get in right away. And we want to thank everyone that has subscribed, that has clicked like, whatever. Keep on doing that. And this show, I think we're the leader for an FSTA award this year.
Really?
We'll never. Literally, we will never, dude.
You got to pay someone for that.
Can we short the Swolecast in that competition? Because I would.
It'll be some RotoWire show no one's ever heard of, winning for the 13th consecutive year.
I think it's
don't shame RotoWire.
I'm not. I'm just saying.
I hope Bobby wins Analyst of the Year.
The Fantasy Pros podcast.
If he wants it, he will get it. So
he always gets what he wants.
Anyways, sorry for the late arrival. I'm still wearing my dad gear. This is like all-time dad gear. Had to pick up the girls from school because it's like fall break, and I was being a wife guy. It's my wife's birthday today, so shout out.
I thought the reason you were late to start the show is because you were supervising the Titans outdoor practice at a local high school. I thought you were running through the Oklahoma drill with Darrington Evans and some of the linebackers.
I will not confirm or deny the private practices that we've been having. Me, Derrick Henry, AJ Brown.
Hitting up DQ after. How far away do you live from Montgomery Bell Academy, Dave?
That's downtown. Why? Is that in the news?
That's where they had the practice.
Oh, fun fact. Montgomery Bell Academy is what they also call Mama's Boy Academy, all boys school. So,
wow, fun fact. Local knowledge. Local knowledge. Boots on the ground.
Who was the it's Tom Brady. Tom Brady, like when he was rumored to come to the Titans last year, it was because reportedly he took a tour through Montgomery Bell Academy for his kids. So there you go. There's your boots on the ground report.
Boots on the ground.
Davis, did you ever decide to get anything special with your winnings, and has it increased now?
I mean, yeah, I won like a bunch more money last week. I'm on like a sick heater, but no, I haven't bought anything. I've been too indecisive.
Give an exact amount. Give us an exact amount.
He's been burned by salary shaming people that he doesn't want to say the exact amount he's won now.
I don't want to say the exact amount. It's actually more than I'm comfortable saying. It's a lot of money.
Oh, you think your friends will come out of the woodwork from years past and hit you up for loans?
Hey man, how's it going?
No. But the league I won, I think that we can agree that was all the most important was Peter. I won the Revertsy Top Listener League Challenge.
Just cucked in my own listener challenge. Another week, I'm coming off of a big week, and then I have to find out Davis won my listener league. It's just absolutely brutal.
So, Davis, can we say that it was like you as a man of skill in these leagues, like you won over 5 figures last week?
Yes.
Okay. Can we say like over 20K last week?
That is the right neighborhood. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So the week before,
he posts a screenshot of every single one. You can just add them up.
I know.
Did he last week? I didn't see it.
I only did. That team was in a couple different contests, but I only.
He's playing the role of Tuttle, so he's got to be a little bit modest.
Tuttle. This is the new brand, dude.
I like it. It's good. You let you let everybody else tout your wins for you, and you kind of just take it in stride.
So, Davis, last week you bought a piece of exercise equipment. You want to share with the folks what you bought?
Yeah, it's a really shitty recumbent bike to go put in my basement that I spent all of Sunday putting together. And I'll be honest, if I had known how well that Sunday was going to go, I wouldn't have put together this stupid bike, and I would have just bought a Peloton. Okay,
so that's what I'm asking is, why don't you buy a Peloton now?
Because I already got the dumb bike put together, and it's fine.
You can sell it. People sell that stuff. That's like a sunk cost fallacy.
No one is buying this. No one is buying this random trash bike that's sitting in my basement right now.
Facebook Marketplace, man.
So, Davis, after you shamed Pete,
I didn't shame anybody.
Oh, well, you shamed Pete for having an Android. You did.
Well, okay, that's valid.
And not having an iPhone. And then, are you trying to like be one of the people now with your like not getting a Peloton?
No, I really resent the concept of spending a lot of money for something up front and then having to pay a membership fee to use it. It really tilts me.
I actually have that kind of same take.
Davis is back to being relatable to the common man in his refusal to buy a Peloton.
Davis is he's actually describing the model of what was the recent DFS site that went down?
Fantasy Up?
No, not Fantasy Up.
It was
Fantasy
Throwdown. Fantasy.
No, that was Fantasy Throwdown was awesome.
Fantasy Draft.
Yeah. All right. Anyways,
Fantasy Throwdown. Those are the days.
So we are 10 minutes into the show and we've nary a tout.
David,
Kitchen, aren't you gonna ask me what I spent with some of my winnings?
Did you win anything last week, Peter?
Yes, but just ask me what I've recently bought.
Peter won a lot of money last week, David.
Yeah. What have you recently bought?
Dick, give us a dick shot.
He bought a stand sit desk.
Yeah. That was good. I like that.
Thank you. I hadn't even thought of that bit ahead of time.
That was some good bit. That was some good bit, Pete.
Yeah,
it would have been better if you were sitting down and let it go up without moving like this.
I want to let people know that I'm standing up right now at my stand-up desk, and this is the first time that I have stood up at my desk in forever.
Hey, Peter, what is Lauren? Where's Lauren at on your recent hot streak? Does she know? Have you brought her in on any of this, or?
Does my wife know? Of course, I wake her up after every showdown slate and I go, honey, I binked another one.
How lovely for her.
All right. That's enough. David, do you have a stand-up desk?
No, I don't even have room to stand up in my attic.
I never actually stand up.
I know, that's what I was saying. I don't really stand up.
I never do it.
Okay. Well, congrats, Peter. We're just having a good time on this show. We want to thank everyone.
Half the show is just printing money this year.
It's definitely a different brand for the Swolecast.
Yeah, it's very far off message.
We've got new shirts that are coming out. You guys voted on it. I think option 2 is the shirt, so it's going to be like a Swolecast one. I do too. Well, maybe we'll just order both. Since
they both won't come for about 10 years. No, what does it matter?
We got time.
Good hypothetical.
It's in the mail. It's in the mail.
We have plenty of time. Speaking of Listener League last week, just real quick, I got a DM from the guy that won it. And he said that he was asking basically if he could get a T-shirt for winning the league.
Good luck, buddy.
And you said you are SOL, pal.
At Kev Cashman, I thought about it, and then I looked at see where he lived, and it is Ireland. Like, imagine.
That's a no-go.
Sorry, buddy, we're not spending that much money on a shirt for you.
Imagine, yeah. So I said, you already took our money for what it would cost to ship there and the amount of time, everything else. You might be out of luck there, but he did contribute to our lineup that we're going to build for DraftKings. So shout out to him. Also, we have Bay Boy Chiefs. He was the only one that cashed with their qualifier last week with 170.68. We have in 60th place, the Four Birds lineup, Plotinus 99. And then the 147th place had the true game stack for the Chicago Bears and Colts game.
That was worse than we could have even imagined, that game.
Yeah, it was bad. But imagine that guy put $5 and gets a shirt by finishing 147th. So I do want to say that also, it's tough with a 200-person league to be this bad, but congratulations to our own Revertsy Top for placing 194th out of 200.
I bet he beat me.
Hey, I don't know if you guys know how GPPs work, but you're either first or you're last.
Have you been reading Bell's? Have you been reading Bell's newsletter?
He subscribes to the Lucky Maverick.
I was pissed because Bales did a rundown of the Gambling Olympics and listed 12 people, and I wasn't one of the people he listed.
Paulo Duca made it in ahead of you, bud.
Wasn't that your brainchild?
It wasn't my brainchild, but I mean, I'm the one that took it to the next level.
You did take it to the next level. That's disappointing.
Yeah. I thought he was my friend.
Yeah. What are you going to do? All right. We've got the Listener League link that we'll put in the chat. We'll also put in the listener notes. Let's get on to it though. As far as the overview, the overlook, is anything we're saying today going to be relevant this time? And let's say 72 hours from now.
It was relevant last week. We touted the shit out of that Cleveland Dallas game.
Well, no, yeah, we also
touted the Chiefs Patriots game stacks as well. So that's what I'm saying. Like,
I don't know if we did really though.
We all like
Davis
CEH, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. We like Clyde. But Buffalo, Tennessee, we can avoid that one. We just don't have to talk about Tennessee today. I think it's probably the best way to handle that.
Fine with me. I never
is it
talking about them
on FanDuel's one game slate 2 weeks from now. Tannehill's going to be a great play.
Well, really, Kitchen, you should be in your element because we have a crappy quarterback with a fairly decent matchup at $4,100 on DraftKings for you to tell.
Yes.
On DraftKings, Kyle Allen.
Man, I know.
Before I sent out my tweet about it this morning, I went to check to make sure Kitchen hadn't yet because I thought for sure. Do you guys remember last year, Kyle Allen chalk week?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. The first one when he had 4 touchdowns?
The first one, no, I think it was the second one when it was like really bad. With the week that he was chalk, not the week before.
I mean, here's the thing: he is straight up terrible. Like he's worse than Haskins. They like I will not be playing Kyle Allen at 4,100. Not me.
Dave, I will say I remember that week vividly because in the Spy I did a Kyle Allen double stack with Curtis Samuel and DJ Moore, and I don't think any of them cleared 10 points. That was old Peter. That said, I think he can support Terry McLaurin underneath. He just didn't have the deep ball like to Curtis had. What did he lead the league in? Uncatchable balls over
unrealized air yards. Yeah.
It'd be more fun if we actually had like guys to spend up. But Zeke's only 7,800. He's going to be your top spend of the slate.
Ridley.
You don't have like the 2 8K plus running backs and all that. It would be fun, but it's probably completely unnecessary.
It's very weird on DraftKings because the thing we've complained about this year has been the pricing has been really good and guys or just generally speaking, DraftKings does price guys up immediately. But this week it's literally like, oh, you like this guy, play him and like 6 other dudes you really like. Like you don't have to stretch to make teams at all.
Would you say you can play all the dudes?
Yeah, just play all the dudes.
Just play the best plays?
No, it's play whoever you want. I used to hate when Blender said that, but now I kind of get it.
Oh, wow.
Now that he's
won a couple of GPPs. The 2020 Age of Enlightenment for Davis Maddock is something that I did not see coming in this Swolecast script. But
I always understood what Blender meant, but because now that I am working so closely with projections, you just see how close stuff is, and you see it like from the machinations into how stuff gets so close, and you're like, there literally is no difference between these plays. Like it's a lot more different when you are like actually doing the projections at how you view things. It's like you enter into the matrix.
I love it, Davis. Oh man, I don't know if there is like a DFS puberty, but you've gone through it and you're a man now. You are a man. All right. Any other words of like enlightenment, Davis, that you have for us? Just like game theory, GTO stuff, like what? Anything else?
No, just read Blender's book, The Theory of DFS. I haven't read it, but I bet it's great. Is it out? Did he ever publish the book?
I think it's either out or it's coming.
They did it as an audio, as a podcast.
It's an audio,
right?
yeah. It's an audio book series.
You can listen to it while you're at the skate park, Davis.
No, I can listen to it on my recumbent bike.
Davis has graduated from the skate park to stationary bike.
I did go to the skate park last week, actually.
Oh, very nice. All right. As far as like game stacks that you're wanting to see Tuttle this week, what is it?
I think the chalkiest game stack is going to be at Atlanta, Carolina. That's a 54.5 over under right now. And then it's kind of interesting from there because all the other high totaled games are kind of projected to be blowouts. I think everybody will still chase the New York Dallas game, even though there's a 10-point spread there. And then the one I guess I would say might be lower owned because of blowout would be Kansas City, Oakland. KC is like a 13 points favorite, but that's the highest total game of the slate. So it'll be interesting to see where Kansas City ownership is in that game because I could see them going a little bit lower owned just because it's, again, projected to be a blowout.
Davis?
Yeah, I mean, the thing I'm wrestling with this week is like, what do you do with Dallas and a 10-point spread? Because it should set up as a Zeke game, right? But on the other hand, it seems like Dallas is just committed to like fumbling at least 4 times in every first half. They literally fumbled 3 times in the first half against Cleveland. They fumbled 4 times in the first half against the Falcons. And if they are down 2 touchdowns at halftime, I mean, you will not be able to win tournaments without Dak, Cooper, and one of the other ancillary guys. So I don't know. I don't have the right answer. That's what I'm trying to figure out this week. If that is not the direction, I don't see another great game stack, honestly. If that one doesn't shoot out.
What about Houston, Jacksonville? 54.5 point over under. All those pieces are relatively affordable. I don't want to play David Johnson, but man, he is cheap.
We got the big dog, Romeo Crennel, baby.
What are you smirking about, Dave?
I just like that Deshaun Watson is giving us indigestion. Like he got lucky to get there last week, feels like at the end. But it was like that was tilting. That was a very tilting first half. And on the Dak Prescott garbage time, man. Like him coming from behind, that's been
it's not garbage. Tilting. It's not garbage time.
Okay,
no?
Not what? Yeah, but it's like him playing so far behind. I did not see him being like 3 scores behind Cleveland. So it's like even more so them airing it out. So this week you got Mahomes and you got Lamar, and those are the 2 highest game totals, implied team totals rather, and then Dak. And then Deshaun Watson behind him. I mean, he does come in at 4th. So what are you doing about there? Or do you just want to dip all the way down and just play the quarterback that faces the Cowboys? Is there like a quarterback flow chart against the Cowboys? Because it seems like it. Were you pulling down the flow chart?
I was pulling down the flow chart. That's you asked me to do kind of the entertaining, thing. So I'm just doing my mime work.
Yeah. Thank you. All right, let's move on.
How owned is Daniel Jones going to be, Tuttle? Because if Daniel Jones is like 8% and stuff, I'm gonna jam it. I'm gonna jam it in.
Well,
yeah, he won't. I mean, he's around that.
If you are
a quarter ship,
what about
you subscribe to the Blitz?
Is the Blitz jamming him? I haven't even looked.
Oh, do not click that points per dollar.
4.28 points per dollar. Oh,
God. Kyle Allen, then Daniel Jones, guaranteed.
He probably hasn't updated.
He hasn't updated Kyle Allen yet.
Oh yeah, Kyle Allen will pop.
Kyle Allen is going to be the all-in blitz play.
It's loved Haskins, didn't it? Like the first few weeks.
Yeah.
We'll just transfer that to the 41 Kyle Allen. I mean, the thing with Daniel Jones is like at least he can run a little bit. He hasn't scored a touchdown in 3 weeks, but he's at least still kind of had some sort of a floor. So I can see the Daniel Jones play. Is there a mid-tier play though? Like
no, I think there's literally nothing in between Daniel Jones and Deshaun Watson that I'm interested in.
What about Bridgewater?
I think I'd rather just play Matt Ryan if we're going that direction. But I mean, it seems fine. But if I was like, who's going to score more fantasy points a vast majority of the time? I think it's Matt Ryan.
Well, for me, the Matt Ryan thing comes down to does Julio play? Because we've now seen 2 games where he doesn't have no strength, and it's not great.
I'm going to channel my inner Dr. Chow and say that Julio does not play.
Julio's not going to play.
Right. So that makes me way less interested in Matt Ryan.
They kind of took the foot off the pedal a little bit on Monday night too, without all the weapons and with Ridley banged up a little bit.
Yeah.
Played at a little bit of a slower pace.
All right. Let's talk about let's open up DraftKings and make a lineup. And Peter,
were we supposed to write stuff down? Because I did write stuff down this time.
Okay, well, good. And I basically asked Kev Cashman at Kev Cashman 88 on Twitter, who won the listener league last week. I said, "Hey, you want to contribute, to the Swolecast lineup?" And he said, "Well, just keep on playing the best plays." And I said, "Well, what if we did like an Irish theme?" And he said, "Oh, maybe like a Golden Tate, And then he said, "No." And this was his pick right here. And you mentioned it earlier. He said, Teddy and Robbie stack for the win.
Did he say FTW or did he spell it out?
He said for the win.
Oof.
But I think that you should do the rest of this segment in an Irish accent.
Let's hear it.
The funny thing is, if he would have said Golden Tate, he would have paired very nicely with my guy Darius Slayton right here. And then we could have jammed Davis's guy, Daniel Jones, for all the giblets.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Probably
Thank you, Mitch.
The entire country. But...
Tuttle, who are you going to jam into this fine lineup for us?
Oh, goodness. I'll take the chalk. I'll go Zeke. I don't know how you get off of him this week.
I'll take Daniel Jones then. So we have Jones, Elliott, Slayton, and Tate.
We already have Teddy Bridgewater, my lad, in an unstacked Darius Slayton and Golden Tate.
Oh, wait, all right, we're unstacked.
We don't have Darius Slayton or Golden Tate.
Yeah,
we Teddy Bridgewater. That was my pick, lads.
Robbie. Okay, who did you pick?
I picked Darius Slayton. There's nobody listen to me around here. I think I've got Scottish now.
It's always a fine line. All right, so we have Bridgewater, and we have Robbie Anderson, and we've got Slayton, and we've got Zeke, and then who did you say, Davis?
Well, I did not understand the rules, so I'm gonna take Kareem Hunt.
Kareem Hunt. Sweet. We got some stuff to work with, but
because you can just play all the dudes.
Tuttle, we were talking a little bit about this in our super secret chat. That Zacchaeus is $3K.
He's not going to be super secret.
He is going to be like the cover boy of something on Roto Grinders at some point this week.
Well, he was a wee little man. He's 5'8". A wee little man was he. So I will put him in the lineup. We'll have some salary to spend.
It's so weird that they view him as the direct backup to Julio Jones because, like, they literally could not be more different players. But, like, he just has always been as long as he's been there, he just plays when Julio gets hurt.
It just seemed like a target machine whenever Julio went out in the second half last week.
He had 103 catches his final season at the University of Virginia and like 25 rushes. They don't pass
the ball in Virginia either.
Yeah, he had like a 45% dominator rating or something his final season there.
He is 5'8". Like he's not like Julio. He's not like Julio light. He's not tall at all.
I know. I'm just saying. Like I don't have concerns that he's like terrible. I think he can play well enough. Famous last words, probably.
Did our Irish friend make his wishes known if he wanted this to be a cash or a GPP lineup?
No. He said play the best plays. I would say GPP. And I'm also wondering why you're not asking that question in an accent since this segment's not over.
Well, I like to read the room, and we had kind of dovetailed into, regular analysis, and it feels weird if I just came back and said, oh, why don't we go ahead and add DJ Moore into here for the double stack? They have such a condensed target tree now. So I bailed, Dave.
I want to know what this list, or what this, it's like a Sean Connery, an Irish Sean Connery.
Believe it or not, if I would have had some time to work on my Irish accent, I could have locked it down, but you kind of sprung it on me there.
That's what you were. It's this improv. Like you were asking what you wanted. I get to tell you what to do.
All right. I want to play DJ Moore in this lineup too.
So DJ Moore, that means if we go like a cheap D, we got like 7,700
for tight end.
Kittle, baby.
We got 7,700 for a tight end.
We got Kittle. That means we'd have to pay up, but we could go like Chiefs D.
I always love the. Chiefs are fine. Chiefs D and Kittle. Boom. Cash games. Lock it in.
There you go.
This is like the Swolecast lineups of old, but we'll see how it goes.
There's a pot of gold at the end of this lineup, guys. That's what I'll tell you.
Nobody touches me, Lucky Charms. All right. We've got running back to talk about. But first, just a reminder, hit that like button, smash that subscribe button.
Smash it.
I swear to God, if you don't smash the living daylights out of that subscribe button, I'll lose my goddamn mind.
No, stop.
I'm not allowed to say goddamn on this show now?
No.
Shit, man. Come on. It's a family show.
Is it the damn or is it the God or is it them?
No, you're going to make... We're gonna have to bleep everything. We're gonna have to get the E rating on iTunes.
I'm refraining so hard from just saying the F word really loud.
I just want Tuttle to just scream it.
Then his kids hear it.
We'll get that one by the censors.
All right, let's move on. Running back, Davis. Are you all in on Zeke week?
I think there are 4 clear, amazing plays at running back: Ezekiel Elliott, Mike Davis, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and Kareem Hunt. And I imagine that those 4 guys are probably going to be like 2 of those 4 guys will be on every team I make. And it's just a matter of what you end up doing with the flex spot in stacks and stuff. But I think that every other play outside of those guys is in a different tier.
Tuttle?
Yeah, I mean, he's not wrong. There's some fine pivots. Actually, I don't even know how many good pivots there are.
They're real. It's like oh, you're gonna play $6,700 James Robinson. He's more expensive than Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Like, good luck.
I think the one I actually want to comment on. I think people will play James Conner, and he smashed the last 2 weeks. But if you actually look at the usage, they were getting their other running backs involved 2 weeks ago when they last played. Like, he's not somebody that I would count on to continue to get just a massive share of the Steelers running back touches. They were definitely trying to spread it out a little bit more between himself, Snell, and McFarland. So, I mean,
McFarland looked good too.
Yeah, and he was getting some targets in the passing game. So Connor, he's going to project well, I think, but he scares me a little bit.
Mike Crowther says cursing on DFS shows is game theory optimal now. Just ask Mayo and Bobby. I don't know what that means. All right. Eric Belair says Rojo season, Davis.
I assume Fournette got ruled out is what I'm guessing.
Yeah, that's the Thursday night game. David doesn't know that, though.
I know. It's showdown season, buddy. I know.
No, David had no idea. That's why he proposed you the question.
So, yeah, I mean, your Thursday night showdown lineups, the Buccaneers are like the Walking Dead right now. All 4 of their starting wide receivers did not practice on Tuesday. So it is, in fact, Rojo season.
Should we start doing a showdown segment for the people? Is that what they want?
Yeah.
I think people need
get all the YouTube views. All the YouTube views we can do. Davis, when you clipped, I feel like you were like fake news last week. When you clipped all of Rojo's runs and conveniently left out some of the stone hands drop passes.
I didn't clip all of them. I literally clipped 2 runs.
I've been curious about how the sausage gets made on these clips, Davis. So are you downloading individual clips and stitching these together? Or are you just pulling all 22? Like, what's going on with this?
Yeah, I log on to Game Pass and I just record my screen, and then because you can't download the NFL Game Pass, it's like they are pretty strict about not letting you do that. But they don't put any protections in to record your screen. So
Didn't
then I just
get busted for that last year?
He has gotten out in trouble for that before. Yeah.
Is it just you don't have enough clout to be on NFL's radar?
I don't work for PFF, but that was a very good setup, Pete.
Last year he was not working for PFF, but it's true. Like, you don't have the check mark. Speaking of Hardens, they have their shows on Fridays here. You have the helicopter finalist, chopper finalist, as far as who they have. Who was his last week? Can we remember who it was? I forget. I know, like,
it was
he had
Landry.
A rough stretch with injuries.
Buoyed by the passing touchdown.
So close. All right. Other running backs this week, Peter.
One guy we haven't mentioned that I'm interested in and might be that pivot we're talking about would be Miles Sanders. I guess people will maybe be scared of the Pittsburgh D, but his workload.
He'll be free.
Can you just let me talk, Davis, for once?
I was the one that was supposed to be interesting today.
Yeah, he's just had very.
Yeah, I don't know how on.
Tuttle, will you just let me talk for once? I have nothing else to say. I think Miles Sanders is a good play. I would love to hear what Tuttle has to say about him.
I mean, he's still the lead back, right? He's still getting the touches. He's 80% of the running back workload there or so in Philadelphia.
You know who's not getting the touches? Boston Scott.
No.
Unreal.
That did not happen.
All right. What about on FanDuel? James Robinson, David Johnson, 6.6, 6.4K. Thoughts, Davis?
I mean, again, the trouble you have is I think you're giving up a bunch of expected points by not playing. Like, for tournaments, sure, whatever. I mean, do whatever you want. But these four running backs are just so good. I guess if I wanted to make a game theory tout this week, it would be Jonathan Taylor again for the 3rd week in a row and just be like, please, Jordan Wilkins, go away. I'm begging you, Jordan Wilkins, to go away and bother someone else.
Jonathan Taylor is now a clutching rosary beads play.
He's just fancy Josh Jacobs. It's really all he is. I guess the other guy actually would be Jerick McKinnon, that matchup at home against the Dolphins. He is 10th in the NFL in PPR points amongst running backs right now. And
touchdown in every game, Davis.
Yeah, he's legit.
What, he played like 68 of their 73 snaps last week?
Yeah.
That was the edge in that showdown slate, was realizing that in week 3, Jeff Wilson didn't get any touches until McKinnon went out.
Yeah.
With an injury.
Hardy hasn't projected as if Mostert is going to be back. He only hasn't projected for 8 points, 7.69.
Mostert is Q, and they are hoping he gets back to practice, but it's the West Coast, so it's about 6 a.m. there right now, and so we don't know.
Yeah, breaking news that Laviska Shenault was limited at practice
on the injury
today.
report.
Next.
Setting up for a good Chris Conley point shaving week. So definitely bet on the Houston Texans against the spread.
No, I was thinking that maybe no one would play him like last year with Chris Godwin, and you just like take all the money.
Man, Shenault looked great. Shenault looked great last week.
For 3 quarters, yeah, he didn't play the fourth. All right, let's go to wide receiver. What's the outlook on wide receiver this week, Tuttle?
You already mentioned one of the more chalky guys, thinking he would be a little bit sneaky. Zacchaeus is kind of the min price guy. We threw Darius Slayton in our lineups as that kind of mid range 4,800 play on DraftKings. I think he's going to be relatively chalky as well. We also have Robbie Anderson, who's probably going to see some ownership. I think guys that they'll probably get some ownership, but might go a little bit overlooked just because of how lineup construction works. I don't think you're going to see a lot of guys spend up at wide receiver. Like, I don't know if anybody's going to be jamming in DeAndre Hopkins at 8K, Calvin Ridley off the goose egg at 7,500. I think those guys they're going to project, as some of the best plays, not point per dollar wise, but raw projection wise, they're going to project well. But I don't think they're going to see a whole lot of ownership, again, just mostly because of lineup construction. And then also, neither or both guys are really coming off relatively poor week 4 performances. So I think you can get some decent ownership discount on that, because I think, and that's more of a tournament note, is that I think you can kind of figure out what the common build is going to be in cash games. And the common build is going to be in most tournament lineups. And that build's not going to be spending up on 2 high-priced wide receivers. So if you take that route in tournaments, I think you can find yourself a little bit more unique this week.
Yeah, I mean, probably comes down to if you're spending up at quarterback, right?
Yeah, again, Daniel Jones. If Daniel Jones ends up being chalky, you'll see Daniel Jones, Darius Slayton, and Ezekiel Elliott fill out a lot of lineups. I think is going to be the start for a lot of lineups with that game stack. But yeah, I mean, you're not going to get the double jam in of high priced quarterback and high priced wide receiver. But speaking of high priced quarterback, it does bring me to one receiver I like a lot for tournaments, Marquise Brown. So Lamar Jackson, Marquise Brown stacks are absolute fire this week, I think, in tournaments.
Bigly.
I think Tyreek Hill as well. With Patrick.
It's very expensive.
Not really. 6,900. Like what Tuttle said earlier, when your highest priced running back is Zeke at under 8K, and then you have a min salary receiver, you can do pretty much whatever you want.
Yeah, you just have to be comfortable with lots of Zacchaeus. I mean, probably the strongest thing to do in MME this week is just like don't play Zacchaeus, and you're going to get a bunch of very unique teams.
Is Zacchaeus a better play than Damiere Byrd at the same price?
Probably just based on the total. And Stidham, pardon my French, but David, I'm going to swear. So if you want to get,
can you just bleep it? Can you bleep it?
No, I actually just didn't. I didn't want to make more
Devin,
work.
Can you bleep?
I didn't want to make more work for Devin, so I'm actually not going to. Stidham's terrible. Like Stidham is one of the they just sat there and watch Brian Hoyer piss down his leg for 3 quarters, and then they were like, all right, whatever, this one's done. Let's get Stidham in there. And he was somehow worse. So it's not looking great. I mean, go ahead, Tuttle.
One thing Hoyer was good for was he was the one that was peppering Damiere Byrd. Targets. That's where Byrd, I think the first 4 pass attempts all went to Byrd right away from Hoyer. I went through the game log. Stidham, I think, threw 3 passes Bird's way, and he got 2 for 42 or something like that. So yeah, he's a still fine play. And the other min price guy that nobody's going to play, and I can't even play him now, is our boy Jeff Smith.
Yeah, I was gonna ask about him.
Flacco at quarterback. You can't.
I knew you'd probably bring him up, not just for if he's a good player or not, but also for tout credibility of your call last week.
I can't take credit for that. Maki, good old Maki Supa came into our chat and was like, "Do we have to consider Jeff Smith?" And that sent me down the path of researching him a little bit more.
Only one of us though played him in the captain spot in cash
because he was completely unnecessary.
You're grinding Showdown cash, Dave?
Not a chance. What? Not a chance. He is. No way.
Yes, I am. 100%.
No, you're not.
I showed y'all the lineups last week. Also, another flash draft crushing. I mean, I'm moving up to level 2 specialist.
See, I believe the flash drafts. That's established. I just can't believe you're playing Showdown Cash.
Why?
I mean, he probably does.
That really shocks you.
Like it does.
The guy like that grinds fourth
time.
I play fourth quarter cash games. Like, I mean, what? And you're shocked that Showdown Cash is like off limits?
It just like seems very lonely. He
sees our buddies TJ and Kyle post on how like Showdown Cash is like draining their will to live, and Kitchen's like, boom, I'm in there. I gotta do it.
You have to pick your spots. So whenever Tuttle came in, I looked at it. I'm like, well, you can play whoever you want to if you captain Jeff Smith. I didn't know that he was only going to be less than 2% owned. I mean, that was and in captain spot he was 0.6% owned.
Are you posting head-to-heads or just playing double ups? I need to know how the sausage
I post sometimes I pick up. I won't say who I picked up, but
why not? Bang bang, let's go.
Monday night, second half showdown. I played cash because Julio Jones was limping badly off the field at the end.
Kitchen saw an edge here. I like it.
So I played him, and the high stakes guy played Julio Jones's lineup, and it won. So
change your Twitter name to second half Showdown Cash Thought Leader.
I love how Peter. This is like shocking you.
It is. It seemed like it shocked these guys too.
No, I mean, the thing about Dave is that he's an advantage player, right? He goes to the casino and he grinds out those 0.3% edges, and that's just really always been Kitchen's game. You know, he's not there to sit down and play blackjack and have a good time. He's only grinding out the small edges.
Davis, weren't you the guy who would not play? Oh, no, I think it was CSU. Because I'm definitely not that guy. But
I don't play table games. I only play poker.
Yeah. CSU would not play table games. Yeah, exactly.
Well, you didn't have to call me out like that in public.
This is minus EV.
It is minus EV. You literally cannot win.
I know, but like there is the entertainment factor. Anyways, other wide receivers that you guys like this week, Peter?
Yeah, I mean, I mentioned that Jacksonville-Houston game. If Shenault doesn't play, I mean, DJ Chark was already getting kind of like that alpha role as far as his targets and air yards. So I think you can fire him up again, and Will Fuller. I think people are still a little spooked about Fuller because of that one game where he didn't do anything. But other than that, he's had 15 plus PPR points. Thank you for that stat, courtesy of Ben Gretsch in 3 of his games. So Will Fuller, in my mind, is still a alpha wide receiver 1. So I like playing those 2 guys in that game.
Yeah. Cooks is boy, whoo, those double goose eggs last week from Cooks and who else was it?
Troutman. I mean, that was one of the worst gill casts of my life, was having to like go through the decision-making process of not only playing Adam Troutman, but also playing Brandon Cooks, and just like trying to have like, how did that happen?
And you thought at halftime of that Raiders game that like it was somewhat close with Renfro. I know Cardi stuff liked Renfro better, but then Renfro just went kind of nuts the second half. Let's talk about new quarterbacks though with their wide receivers. Jamison Crowder, F1 Terry McLaurin. Any interest in these wide receiver ones with new quarterbacks this week?
I'm not scared of Kyle Allen for McLaurin. I mean, how can
get worse?
You think it can get worse?
It can.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Well, who has the stat for not McLaurin, but what was the Logan Thomas? How many balls were actually catchable that were thrown his way? Very low percent.
I don't know. Are we gonna see the Logan Thomas resurgence now with Kyle Allen? Like same target volume, but he starts catching them.
Is there catchable? I mean, you could. Like, he's still running routes, right? I haven't looked, I guess, at the most recent.
Man, I don't know.
It's a good point, though. When you get a new quarterback, like, just don't assume that it's going to be the same target share as what you've been seeing. It's a good spot to speculate in tournaments and take shots on lower owned guys.
I don't know if you have to. It seems like just unnecessary.
Yeah, Logan Thomas still ran a route on 42 of 50 dropbacks last week.
Okay, you have to pick one Carolina receiver, Robbie Anderson or DJ Moore. Who is it? Davis?
DJ Moore.
Peter?
Yeah, DJ Moore, even though I know I'm wrong.
Ooh, Dan?
I can't. I have to pick Robbie
Because you're contrarian.
Robbie's going to be higher owned than DJ Moore this week for sure, 100%.
I mean, Robbie out-targeted him 11-6. I mean,
Yeah.
Robbie is what it should be, but my heart won't let me say anything other than DJ Moore.
I don't know how you could have played DJ Moore last week and pull the trigger this week, but I want to. I played DJ Moore last week.
Because football is a random game, dude, and random stuff happens. It's going to be fine.
Just listen to Davis. This guy is
He's still 12th in air yards. 12th in the league in air yards.
He's 10th in the NFL in Whopper.
I wish we were getting a little bit more of a salary and ownership discount relative to Robbie.
I think these early ownership projections are off. I would be shocked to see DJ Moore above 10%.
Really? They both, I don't know. They both are like popping in as far as projections.
Well, what I thought DJ Moore was going to be like mega chalk last week, and he was like 15%.
Yeah.
I think the answer is to just play them both with a Bridgewater double stack, and you don't have to worry about it.
And then Ian Thomas scores all the
touchdowns. That's how Pete wins 50K this week. He just gave you the recipe.
Well, it's been the super obvious game stacks, right?
Yes, it has.
Play the blessed place.
Did you say play the blessed place?
Yeah, but I think that's a new thing. Play the blessed place.
Oh, nice. Darius Slayton, is he just a lock of all locks?
He is not a lock, but I think
Peter, you wanted him last week. You wanted him last week in our lineups.
He's my new martingale. And now he gets the Cowboys. The Cowboys have given it up to every wide receiver.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking. Noto, who has been crushing the core plays in lineup HQ, he's currently his only core game play for wide receiver. So he might be the highest owned wide receiver this week.
Yeah, he'll be super chalk in cash.
Right?
Well, because the thing is, it'd be like Michael Gallup being the highest owned with his super large average depth of target. He's going to be boom bust, and I don't like playing those guys at super high ownership. So as much as I like Slayton, if he's over 20%, I will legally not be allowed to play him.
Play Evan Ingram instead.
Ooh, I like. All right, let's move on. To
Evan Ingram is. I want to co-sign that take. I think he's the best play of that game in terms of he goes at tight end, which has been at this like miserable position for fantasy through a month of the season. He will not be a huge part of ownership, and he's cheaper than Darius Slayton.
Well, you finally get him a week that the position is stacked too. You finally get a week where it's with Kelsey, Andrews, and Kittle.
Andrews, yeah.
All right, let's go to FanDuel. You guys are going to see, speaking of wide receiver, that it's like tough for wide receiver to – Davis, am I boring you right now?
Always.
Gosh. It's going to be tough to like spin up at wide receiver. Like there are no like auto plays at wide receiver over 7K. So seems like the lineup kind of makes itself, but we're going to go through that. We're going to go through it. Davis, since you just – we're going to ride the heater along with you, just like you've always done with us over the years. So you can start.
I actually got fifth in the stiff farm last week on FanDuel, but I didn't tweet it out because it was not as much money as the other one.
That's a $75 single entry, right?
Yeah. So I actually think on FanDuel this week, one of the interesting things you can do is you can stack the Chiefs with the good plays, right? Because of how cheap Zacchaeus is and because of how cheap the core running back plays are, I kind of want to do. Can we try and make this the Chiefs Voltron stack with Tyreek and Kelsey, or do we want to vote against that?
Davis wins a GPP and gets to pick the entire lineup.
Well, no, I wanted to try and build it out with my bros, but if we don't want to, that's fine.
No,
you know what's good news for this stack is Henry Ruggs returned to practice.
You love to see it. I'll just pick Mahomes. I'll just do that, and then I'll let the group do as they please.
I say if you pick the quarterback, you get to pick one.
Yeah. Okay. So I will pick Kelsey then over Mark Andrews.
Okay. By the way, good call last week, Peter, on the Mark Andrews. redemption.
It's a new era. We're just playing the blessed plays, Dave.
Yeah.
I guess I'll play Tyreek Hill. I have no choice after Dave has bullied me into it.
Okay, I have a question for Pete real quick.
Oh, God.
Do you think that because you are now running so hot, you actually are influencing people's DFS decisions? Like, do you think that people are like, dude, Pete's on...
Does Peter move the needle?
Yeah, like
legit
Pete,
or bit?
Yeah, legit or a bit. Peter Overzet moves ownership because he's on a sick heater run?
No. Ownership? No. Do a couple people maybe tail my pick? Sure. Do I move ownership? Yeah, right. It took me 150 Patrick Laird tweets to move his ownership like 1.5 percentage points in the middle of the year.
All right. Tuttle?
Yeah, here's the thing. If you're spending this much capital on one team, you have to bring it back. You got to bring it back at least once or twice, because it can't be a blowout. Otherwise, you're just not going to get there. So Henry Ruggs, he might not play, but he's back at practice. So
man, 5,300 on FanDuel. On FanDuel, he's actually a better fit because you probably only catch 4 passes. You just got to hope 2 of them go for touchdowns.
All right. I don't know. This might get weird, but in the flex position, I kind of want to play.
You want to go Waller?
No.
Oh.
I think I want to go Kittle.
Wow.
I think I want to go Kelsey. I want to go Kelsey Kittle.
Remember, guys, this is a cash team.
This is definitely a cash-based team.
Yeah, the double tight end cash team. You
don't swap Ruggs out if he doesn't play.
Now, you might be thinking, well, guys, you're running out of salary, even on FanDuel. You would actually be wrong because Mike Davis is 6,800 after being Christian McCaffrey for 2 straight weeks. It's incredible.
And James Robinson is 6,600.
Yeah, that's what I was
and
asking
Jared
about.
McKinnon 6,400.
And David Johnson.
He doesn't.
6,400.
It's like FanDuel sends in their updated salaries via the Pony Express each week, and it just takes 2.5 weeks to get to the location to update it.
Yeah. Well, but DraftKings, they left Jeff Smith at 3K after going 17 points. They get a pass on Zacchaeus.
I don't know if we can compare Mike Davis's usage to Jeff Smith's.
Yeah, right. This FanDuel thing used to be a massive, massive thing for NBA. You guys remember where you would just play the same?
I mean, you'd literally just be like, okay, you just needed.
Jeremy Lin was minimum salary for 3 weeks in a row.
To play all the best plays, you just needed a $3,800 small forward. So you'd be playing Josh Smith when he was the backup for the Rockets, and you just be like, all right, now I can play the most expensive guy at every position.
Look how lost Peter is right now.
Unlike you guys, I haven't won the Billy Baker on FanDuel.
FanDuel and 2016, 2015 NBA strategy on FanDuel.
Crazy.
Yeah. FF Comedy Hour was just in its infancy at that point.
Pete, do you not play on FanDuel because you're so embarrassed to even type the name in when you log in?
It's just hard when I'm crushing so hard on DK to really focus on anything else.
We got people in chat asking why we weren't making fun of DraftKings 6,400. There's a difference between the salary cap on each site.
Big difference.
But still, he's still underpriced on both sides.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, he's underpriced, but it's not.
Yeah, it's terrible. But also, I guess maybe DraftKings should even feel worse because they're supposed to be the site between the two that's on top of these things. They're supposed to be they actually adjust, but they didn't. So,
but there's a difference between the two, a few percentage.
DraftKings has Patrick Mahomes only at 7,700, and FanDuel has it at 9K.
Right, exactly.
Are you kidding?
Exactly.
All right, so if you go a cheap defense with this, you could play Darius Slayton at 5,800. I mean, that's that lineup right there.
The old set it and forget it cash lineup from the Swolecast.
The double tight end cash lineup.
Wait, who did we do with the second running back?
I don't know if we picked
James Robinson and then Mike Davis. But if you didn't want to go James Robinson, you could go David Johnson. You could go a number of ways. Jerick McKinnon, 6,400.
That is a sexy cash lineup.
It's like if I was playing cash on FanDuel, which I will, this will probably be my team. You'll love to see it.
All right. Let's see. Tight end.
I'd actually love some takes because I don't know what to do in cash.
Oh, all right. So the player needs some takes. Let's go to the resident expert analyst, Mr. Total 05.
Oh, shit. I forgot that's my
Yeah, you're Davis Medic. You got to tell us, give us some stats. And
I thought he was going to throw it to me, but I forgot I'm just the...
I know, that's what I thought. I thought it was going to Overset too.
I was quickly trying to tab over to the tight ends on my spreadsheet. Oh, God.
Give me some jazz hands still.
I'll do a little buy you some time, Total.
I mean, if you're spending up and you don't care about money, I think it is Kelsey. Of the three expensive guys, I mentioned Evan Ingram, and he's more of a tournament option on DraftKings just because of the pricing difference, but he's really, really cheap on FanDuel. He's 5,500 on FanDuel, 2K difference. But again, we do have James Robinson and Mike Davis super cheap, so you're probably in cash paying up at the tight end position, but I do like Ingram is kind of that tournament option or cheaper potential cash game option on FanDuel. On DraftKings, I'm with this Logan Thomas take of maybe a new quarterback will actually throw him some catchable balls. So I'm back on the Logan Thomas train in tournament.
Okay, well, if you are on the take that maybe a new quarterback will throw him some catchable balls, there is another tight end.
Oh, Chris Herndon.
We've talked about a few times. Chris Herndon, 3,200.
I honestly don't hate it. You're talking to a guy who played Troutman. I just punt at tight end. Just punt at it. Okay, Herndon, you want to play him? You want to play Dick Rogers for 2,500? Go for it. You want to play Jordan Akins?
Well, the Eagles are actually going to get a tight end back this week. Seems like Alshon's been practicing, so their third tight end is going to be back and active.
I will say the one guy he did pop up on the injury report, Dalton Schultz. He still seems underpriced at 4,800 relative to his role in that offense.
He is fourth in the NFL amongst expected points of all tight ends.
Davis, do you think you could beat Alshon Jeffrey in a 40-yard dash right now?
I do. I think I could.
I bet the house max on Alshon.
I think I could.
Are you on your skateboard?
2 strides of Davis equals 1 stride for Alshon. All right, Davis.
What? Wait, if Dalton Schultz somehow doesn't go, does that mean we get to play Blake Bell in cash?
Wow.
Ooh,
that would be that would truly be that would be like when I got to play Janice in cash. It would be a total highlight.
Where's Rico at this year? Is he just off? He's not even on a practice squad.
I believe Rico got a DUI. And I think it was maybe some character concerns that led Rico out of Dallas.
He's off smoking weed somewhere. I don't know where, but he's off smoking weed somewhere.
All right. So Blake Bell, yeah. There's your Oklahoma, your boy too.
And he went to high school about 45 minutes away from me.
We're Eskimo brothers, hooked up with the same chick.
What I'm saying is me and Blake Bell are best friends, is for the point there.
Okay, so on FanDuel, you got Evan Ingram, who's dirt cheap. Or do you pay up for Waller, Kelsey, or Kittle?
I assume the lineup construction is going to be paying up. I haven't looked too much into it, but
that's
we already
what
talked
I think
about Mike Davis and James Robinson being so cheap.
and optimal receivers. I know we went with Cheetah in that last lineup on FanDuel, but optimal receivers are not above 7K. So you can spend up. So Kelsey, Waller, or Kittle, Pete?
Well, on FanDuel, tight end is so gross that it's actually optimal to play 2 of them and 1 of them in your flex.
Well, they were two of the elite guys. That's what I'm saying.
If hypothetically I played on FanDuel, probably playing Evan Ingram or one of the studs, Waller, Kelsey, Kittle.
Peter's channeling his inner Davis right now. All right, Davis.
I like Andrews the best, I think.
I didn't even throw out Andrews. was I thinking?
Because I think that just the way they use him is so conducive for like 32-point fantasy games. Like if it ever gets competitive, we're like, I mean, I know Kittle just had like the best performance ever by a tight end. But at equilibrium, San Francisco just wants to run and they want to throw him like 6 passes a game.
I actually think I think that's actually flipped. I mean, Mark Andrews had 2 touchdowns on 3 catches last week, whereas
I'm saying if they ever play a competitive game, but maybe that's wrong.
I just feel like Kittle's volume and target floor is so much higher than Andrews.
Yeah, as the analyst, I concur with the Kittle take.
You just got owned by jazz hands, Davis.
I'm looking right now at the blitz on FanDuel, and
I did
points per dollar.
I didn't want to comment.
Kittle and Andrews are way down there, so
he's got a lot of week left before him to tweak some of these projections.
Yeah, if that's indicative of how the field's going to be, then yes, I will. But if you had to play 3, or if you had to play 1, Dan, who would you go?
Of the 3,
yeah, price doesn't matter.
That was so weird. You calling him Dan? That was like when I called Davis Maddock.
Yeah, that was. I don't like that, dude.
I actually originally said Kelsey, but I'm going to go Kittle. Jazz hands compelled me to go Kittle.
And I'm going Kittle as well. Davis, you're going Andrews, and Peter, you're going
Kittle.
So 3 against 1. Kelsey's not even registering on this.
I believe in Mark Andrews. I think that Baltimore is going to figure things out, and I think he is going to score so many fantasy points.
We could get the Ian Thomas. We got in the chat the Ian Thomas flowchart game.
No. Chris Manhertz is running more runs than him. The Ian Thomas dream is dead.
No, he's not. I call BS.
He is.
He did get a catch. Did he get a touchdown also last week?
All right,
Manhertz. I'm going to go look it up right now.
I'm 27 of 43 dropbacks for Thomas last week. 20 of 43 for Manhertz.
Okay, so not quite, but the gap is. It's not what you want if you're an Ian Thomas truther. I mean, Ian Thomas, let's put it this way. Ian Thomas is on the waivers in some of my FFPC leagues where you get 1.5 points per tight end reception, and we're not even going crazy to add
because he doesn't get any tight end receptions. I will say the matchup is absolutely ridiculous. Falcons are so bad against the tight
everybody eats against the Falcons.
It's all middle of the field stuff, though. It's tight end. Well, I guess they do to the receivers too, but tight ends and running back receptions for sure.
All right. Yeah. Before we close up the show, let's give the Listener League qualifiers for this week. In the Listener League, again, we'll have the link there, but you got to get in quick because this thing is it's like elite status right now.
Should we have people bug DraftKings to give us a bigger rake-free tournament? Should we sick our listeners on them?
Let's fill this, and then we'll try to get it.
We need a little bit.
Make it bigger, dude. Make it bigger.
I think that's a unique hashtag. If we just use that one,
yeah.
I don't think anybody's ever done that.
No one has ever.
We got to do a 5-man league between the 4 of us, and then with a listener.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
and then tune in Friday for our mailbag show.
Is this okay? Is the Swolecast the longest running show in daily fantasy?
I think we're the only show that talks about football on a weekly basis.
I think Grinders Live would be, but
it's not like a continuous host or show or anything, though.
Right? Yeah, exactly. But the original host of Grinders Live, I guess, is on this show. So there you go. All right.
What a weird victory lap.
All right, so qualifiers for this league. Last week we had the 4 birds. We had the Chiefs Patriots game stack, which didn't happen. We got the Bears Colts game stack, and then we had Gronk. So those were the 4 last week. And also, if you're one of the ones that I called out earlier, just email swolecast@gmail.com. We'll get you a shirt. All right, so who wants to go first? Davis?
Jazz hands guy wants to go first.
All right, Peter?
I was trying to come up with something. I was trying to double down on the Irish theme, and I was trying to think if I could come up with multiple guys. Let's just do the best Teddy Bridgewater double stack.
Oh, I thought you were going to go with like a O'Shaughnessy.
Ooh, okay.
You have to play one player in your lineup that is like, this sounds Irish. McFarland.
Yes. No, you have to have, two Irish sounding ones, and you need to write into us and let us know your justification for why that counts as an Irish play.
Yeah, I was going to say, who's judging what the Irish sounding name is?
If you go for this prompt in the comments below, you have to give us your justification.
Ezekiel Elliott.
Taylor Higbee. Oh, Taylor Higbee.
Everyone's getting in on the fun now. Davis, let's hear yours.
No, I don't do accents.
Oh, God.
All right, Davis, who you got?
I guess we can stick with the Irish theme. So it's the highest scoring player with CeeDee Lamb, as in Mary Had a Little Lamb.
What?
That's an old Scottish folktale.
Sticking with the Irish theme, let's go with the kids.
Mary Had a Little Lamb has Scottish roots?
Don't question it.
And everywhere that Mary went, Mary went.
It's an English language nursery rhyme of 19th century American origin.
I just was trying to fit with the theme, Pete, and this is why I don't make jokes, because I'm not as good at it as you.
I didn't
get called out.
To fact check, it just seemed like you actually had some literary knowledge of this, and I had no idea Mary Had a Little Lamb.
Well, if you just say it with confidence, generally people don't call you out, but it doesn't always work with you because you will call me out.
Learn something new. Mary had a little lamb.
I'll do this. I'll do a better one then. Highest scoring lineup with no Dallas or New York Giants players.
Whose fleece was white as snow.
Oh man. Okay. Where did you even come up with that? Sticking with the Irish theme, let's go with the nursery rhyme that is Scottish. I don't even know how you went there. All right.
I just made it up.
Tuttle, did you give yours?
Yeah, sticking with the Irish theme, gonna go to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Very densely populated with Irish folk.
Yeah.
Deontay Johnson.
I like it.
Okay. Sticking with the Irish theme, I will just go, you have to play a quarterback that did not start the season. So it's got to be a backup quarterback.
You could almost say that the starting quarterback took an Irish exit.
Yeah.
That was actually pretty good. Will someone
that was good. I
tip of the cap for that one, Peter.
I'm more used to it being called an Irish goodbye though, so it took me a second.
I'm gonna go take an Irish car bomb after this.
I was going to say, I was waiting for someone to drop the car bomb reference. Let's go with closing thoughts. I
don't know why you guys would make light of the troubles in Northern Ireland and England, but seems a little racy to me in these uncertain times.
So what were these? Why did we pick these guys, David? We have people asking in chat.
We don't even remember what we're picking.
These are the Swolecast.
Kev Cashman, 88, is from Ireland, and he won the Listener League.
But these players are for the Swolecast qualifiers. We might want to explain that.
Yeah. So you have, in the Listener League, if you want a shirt, you have to use one of these situations. So the top lineup with CeeDee Lamb in it gets a shirt. The top lineup with a backup quarterback as a quarterback gets a shirt. So Kev Cashman last week did not get a shirt, even though he won the league. He does not get a shirt. So you can either go for the win or you can go for the title, which 149th place got a shirt last week because they went with the Colts Bears stack. So that's the qualifiers that we're doing. All right. Closing thoughts. Let's go with you, Tuttle. Oh, you didn't give us a terrible take.
Oh,
Thought I was going to skate by there. Is Deontay Johnson's not terrible enough, right?
That's good. He won't be chalk, right?
I don't know. Probably not chalk.
Is
that like if that's good enough, that's what I want.
Yeah.
Yeah, Deontay Johnson, terrible take. He's only 5,800 on FanDuel. 5,600 on DraftKings. There's the terrible take.
Okay, it's not like Zay Jones level, but I mean, no one's gonna be thinking about him this week. I guess that's what I'm saying. Okay, Davis or Tuttle, do you want to have anything else to close up the show?
I'm good there.
Davis, any other early education knowledge bombs you can drop on us?
Yeah, I mean, I just really hope that Dak Prescott, Tony Pollard, and Ezekiel Elliott all lose fumbles in the first quarter against the New York Football Giants and get behind 21 points, because I don't actually think I can win any money in daily fantasy without the Dallas Cowboys going completely nuclear on offense.
Sounds like you want to say Mary had a little lamb and its name was Seedy.
That's what I was going for.
A tale is practice right now, guys.
A tale as old as Scottish time.
A tale as old as Scottish time. All right, Peter,
play the blessed place and have a great week, everyone.
Okay, and I will just say that appreciate all the comments. There was one, the 5-star love story from Lions Gas says change was inevitable with the loss of Evan Silva, but what transpired was unexpected and beautiful. The Swolecast gradually developed into a love story between two of the greats in daily fantasy analysis, Davis Maddock and Peter Overzet. I look forward to the podcast every week, and developing a relationship has been special to watch.